The world was collapsing around him. The year was 1519 and Hernan Cortez had just witnessed Aztec warriors eating portable wrapped cornmeals on the battlefield. This ancient food war, the competition to create the perfect portable meal, had been raging across civilizations for millennia. Little did Cortez know, at that exact moment, Turkish soldiers 7,000 miles away were eating döner wrapped in flatbread, while Chinese merchants traveled with rice-wrapped parcels of meat and vegetables. This was no coincidence. This is the story of how humans across every civilization on Earth independently invented the exact same food concept without ever meeting each other. And why this simple idea, wrapping ingredients in bread, might be the most important culinary invention in human history. Think about it for a second. What's more satisfying than a complete meal wrapped in a convenient edible container? It's genius! And while we might call them different names, the basic concept remains the same. Take some kind of flatbread, fill it with delicious ingredients, and wrap it up for the ultimate handheld meal. And anyone guilty of gorging on a Chipotle burrito knows that for the price, its size and flavor are unmatched. Some food historians claim wrapped foods were invented by nomadic peoples who needed portable meals. Others say it was battlefield innovation. But I've discovered something even more fascinating. Wrapped foods emerged independently in almost every major civilization, suggesting there's something deeply human about our desire to wrap our food. Today we're going to explore the world's most incredible wrapped foods, discover their surprising connections, and settle once and for all which culture actually invented the concept first. And trust me, the answer will shock you. Let's start with the star of our show, the burrito. The word burrito literally means little donkey in Spanish, possibly referring to how the packed contents resemble a donkey's burden. The classic burrito comes from northern Mexico, specifically the border state of Chihuahua. Unlike the massive rice-filled versions we know from American chains, traditional Mexican burritos are simpler, usually just meat, beans, and maybe some cheese wrapped in a flour tortilla. What makes a burrito special is the large wheat flour tortilla that completely encloses the fillings. This distinguishes it from its open-faced cousins like tacos and tostadas. But here's where things get controversial. Despite what most people think, the burrito isn't actually that old. The first written mention of a burrito only dates back to the 1890s. That's right, while Mexican cuisine goes back thousands of years, the burrito itself is a relatively modern invention. This raises our first big question. If the burrito is so new, what were people eating before this? And why did so many other cultures create similar foods? Now let's head to the Middle East, where wrapped foods have been perfected over centuries. The shawarma might be the world's oldest documented wrapped food, with evidence suggesting similar dishes existed as far back as the 14th century. Seasoned meat is stacked on a vertical rotisserie, shaved off in thin slices, and then wrapped in either lavash or pita bread. But here's where it gets interesting. Archaeological evidence from ancient Mesopotamia shows that people were wrapping meat in flatbread over 4,000 years ago. That's right, wrapped foods might be older than most religions. Then there's the Turkish durum, which might be the closest international cousin to the burrito. Durum means roll in Turkish, and that's exactly what it is. Doner kebab meat, vegetables, and sauces wrapped tightly in a thin lavash bread. What's fascinating is that these Middle Eastern wraps developed completely independently from Mexican burritos, yet arrived at almost identical solutions. Great culinary minds think alike. But which came first? The evidence suggests that Middle Eastern wrap foods predate the Mexican burrito by centuries, if not millennia. Does this mean the burrito is just a copy? Not exactly. And that's where our global journey gets even more interesting. Moving east to Asia, we find even more members of the burrito family tree. In India, the kathi roll originated in Kolkata at a restaurant called Nizam's in the 1930s. It features kebab meat, eggs, and spicy chutney wrapped in paratha bread. The key difference here is the bread. Paratha is flaky and layered, and gives the wrap a completely different texture than a burrito. What makes kathi roll special is the egg coating. Often an egg is cracked directly onto the paratha as it cooks, creating a protein-rich adhesive that helps hold everything together. Southeast Asia gives us papaya, fresh spring rolls from Singapore, Malaysia, and Taiwan. Unlike the fried spring rolls you might be familiar with, papaya uses a soft, thin wheat wrapper similar to a tortilla. It's filled with stir-fried vegetables, sometimes meat, and wrapped up for a handheld meal. And we can't forget China's jianbing, a breakfast street food that essentially is a crepe wrapped around crispy wonton crackers, egg, sauces, and herbs. While the texture is different from a burrito, the concept of a complete meal wrapped in a wheat-based exterior is remarkably similar. Here's where I need to ask you. Do you think these foods evolved independently, or do you believe there was some ancient cultural exchange that spread the idea? Let me know your theories in the comments. Europe has its own take on wrap foods that deserve recognition. The French crepe, when filled with savory ingredients, functions much like a burrito. A thin pancake wrapped around ham, cheese, and eggs creates a portable meal that's been satisfying the French for centuries. Eastern Europe gives us cabbage rolls. Not technically wrapped in bread, but the concept of enclosing fillings in an edible wrapper remains the same. The cabbage leaf replaces the tortilla, with the filling typically being rice and ground meat. What's fascinating is how these European wrap foods develop completely independently from their Asian and American counterparts, yet follow the same basic principle. It's almost as if humans are hardwired to wrap our food. So why did so many cultures independently invent wrapped foods? I believe there are three universal factors. First, portability. From soldiers to farmers to merchants, people throughout history needed meals they could eat on the go without utensils. Second, efficiency. Wrapping food in bread or leaves creates a complete one-handed meal that maximizes calories while minimizing waste. Third, flavor fusion. When ingredients are wrapped together, their flavors meld in a way that creates a more complex and satisfying taste experience. These factors are so fundamental to human needs that it was inevitable for wrapped foods to emerge everywhere. It wasn't cultural exchange. It was parallel evolution driven by universal human desires. This explains why, despite never meeting, an Aztec warrior and a Turkish soldier could independently develop remarkably similar food concepts. This was no coincidence. It was human ingenuity responding to the same basic needs. So what have we learned from our global tour of wrapped foods? It seems humans everywhere have independently arrived at the same brilliant conclusion, that wrapping a complete meal in some kind of bread or dough creates the perfect portable food. Whether it's a mission-style burrito, a Turkish durum, an Indian kathi roll, or any of the other variations we've explored today, the basic concept remains the same. Take a flatbread, add protein, vegetables, and sauces, then wrap it up for a convenient, delicious meal. It's a testament to human ingenuity that so many cultures develop such similar solutions to the universal problem of how to eat a complete meal on the go. And while each culture puts its own unique spin on the concept, they're all part of the same delicious family tree. So the next time you bite into a burrito, remember you're participating in a global culinary tradition that spans continents and centuries. The burrito isn't just Mexican food, it's human food, a universal concept that brings us all a little closer together. Thanks for joining me on this wrap food journey. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload. Speaking of global food mysteries, this next video reveals one shocking McDonald's menu item that's actually banned in 160 countries. You won't believe what they put in this thing, and why governments worldwide have declared it unsafe. One bite could change your DNA forever. Or at least that's what they say. But before you go, what's your favorite wrap food from around the world? And do you think there's one culture that perfected the concept better than others? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one.